but I think I'm earning money by not taking your advice. Do you understand?
I would watch, because here's the thing. Okay, let me take another angle with you. Comedians' jobs, what is our job?
I mean, at this point, Whitney, I don't even know.
Our job is to what?
Make people laugh.
Yes, and what is laughter? But here's what
you're dead wrong.
There's
absolutely wrong.
There's a couple.
No one cares. No one cares.
Okay? You mentioned shows that you like when we started. What are the shows that you're watching?
Now?
You just said there's great shows on TV. And then you mentioned The Godfather. Like, I'm the fucking old lady.
I knew I was coming to see you today.
You're the oldest woman I know.
I knew I was coming to see you today, so I prepared with a documentary about alien weirdos. It's on
there's curtains stapled to a wall.
It's on,
holding on by a thread.
This is when she knocks. She's invited me here to do a podcast.
You invited yourself
in some house she doesn't own, and she's attacking my studio because she's like an elitist. This is her thought. She goes, "There's curtains stapled to a wall." Unlike the great set of Roseanne, you know, unlike the diner of Two Broke Girls, which was cinematic.
But designer won an Emmy. Set designer won an Emmy.
That's great. And where are they now?
Which I bet she had to sell on eBay.
In the middle of Austin. Right. I mean, it's
living with the bats under the bridge.
But so that's more of a visual show, and then the podcast I look at as more of an old school radio show. It's not on camera. I like doing the Patreon episodes because they're free from the constraints of being on camera.
Right.
I love audio as audio, and I argue for the supremacy of when you listen, Howard, you thought you were in the room, and when you watched them, you felt you were out of it. But I do love the YouTube show too. They're slightly different, but they're very similar.
I also think that audio, for whatever reason, because we're human beings and we get afraid to speak publicly, we get self-conscious, the level of bravery you can have when you're not conscious of a camera, it's a different muscle. Like when I'm doing something that's audio only, I'm like, I'm so much better at this because I'm not worried about lighting and this and the way I said that and like looking like I'm listening, you know, like I'm there's always like background noise critiquing me when I'm on camera.
Yeah.
But when it's just audio, there's an intimacy and there's an authenticity that I feel like I can't always get on camera unless I forget I'm on camera.
Yes.
You know?
That's what I said, yeah.
And then
it's a longer and more drawn out.
And then, so what is the plan? Because, you know, I strongly believe that you should be doing another thing I'm going to tell you to do that you're not going to fucking do just because I said it. And if one of your fucking agents and William Morris said it, you'd do it in a heartbeat.
I'm with CAA.
Okay, whatever. Okay. CAA is a very...
My agent got fired from William Morris because she was fat. And now I have an agent that's even fatter. All of my professionals are morbidly obese. There's 6 fat people in Los Angeles, and they all work for me or with me. This is true. They work for me or with me in some respect. There's a bond between people that really enjoy work and like to work.
That's right, because we have an agreement.
Who've eviscerated their private lives and most of their relationships because of that, and who've drained themselves of any sense of happiness, and who've propelled themselves forward by a commitment to this thing, this opaque
addiction, not a commitment.
Darkness,
it's definitely an addiction.
This sense of finding meaning in this thing of which ultimately there is none to be found. And it's just 2 people hopelessly walking along a road, hoping and praying that a car hits them so that they don't have to continue to wake up with the need to continue to do this. I think there's some real common ground.
I think that you and I have an agreement that whenever we hang out, we're either plotting our next move, talking about investments, or monetizing our hangs.
Yeah, I think that there's absolutely nothing human that ever goes on. I agree.
Like every time we hang out, we have an agreement. Like this is brought to you by Ridge Wallet. This is brought to you by Magic Spoon. Like there's no sort of like we should hang out and talk not on camera. Like we get to the point.
Yeah, well, that's our lives is doing this bullshit.
Who's your best friend?
Ben.
Okay, but what
do you mean? Oh.
What happens when there's no pie left, as you would say?
When I don't do the show anymore?
What happens when his wife finally says, him or me?
No, he makes money. He fucks his wife. How long do you need to fuck someone? 12 hours? Like, what are you talking about? You could fuck every night.
What is your dynamic with Ben's wife? Is there any tension?
We have sex. They bring me into the bed once a month. Ben is truly the only thing I care about on earth. Like,
it's very true.
Ben is the only thing I care about on earth. Literally, there's a few people in this room and you. I would watch you all burn alive if I knew that I could save Ben. I wouldn't even try to save any of you. To save women at the expense... No, Ben is my brother and best friend. I mean, Ben is the only person really in my life that I know will stay there forever because we built the thing from the ground up.
Also, he has Stockholm Syndrome. What choice does he have? He is a beaten man that you have blackballed in the business instead of anyone hires him.
I know, he could be getting you out of a tub. I know, I get it. It would be much better. It would be much better. I understand. But I don't think the fact that I work with him invalidates the friendship.
Okay.
This kid believed in me when no one believed in me.
Agree.
When you didn't, when Joe Rogan didn't. Agreed. When none of you knew who I was and didn't really care, Ben thought I was really funny.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's very important to me because that's my whole life.
Right.
I cry for you and my heart bleeds, but those skills have made you good money. You have a great quality of life. Yeah, aesthetically on the outside. And that matters, and you've been successful in your industry, and that.
But that industry is
it's kaput.
But I do.
It's kaput. I mean, it's over. People in major movies have 50,000.
Do you know what it's like to be a woman doing a podcast on YouTube? It is really hurtful sometimes.
It's only because people are listening.
What can I do to get my YouTube comments just a little more positive?
I would suggest...
Fuck Jake Paul.
No, I would suggest that really the honest answer, less comedy talk. Less talk about the business.
I don't feel like I do that.
Well... because people, it's not, it doesn't
no one cares.
That.
No one cares.
No one cares.
No, when someone comes on
no one cares.
I agree.
Yes.
And cancel culture, that's all people come on, they're like, we're not allowed to say. I'm like, we can't talk about this again. No one gives a shit.
But you have only people in the business on, so it inevitably steers to the business.
Interesting.
And no one really cares.
I just want to talk about ancestral trauma and...
No one wants that either. No one wants it either. Here's what people want from a female podcaster.
Murder stories.
Anal. Discuss anal for 30 hours a week.
That's
no.
Is that? I mean, that does well.
I'm kidding. Well, you either got to do that or be Christiane Amanpour and be
but
like.
But here's what it is. I came up as a comic doing dirty jokes. She's dirty. She's like that. Just became something someone liked. I did it 10 years ago. People were like, she's blue.
I think the show's good, and you're building, and you just got to keep building. That's all. The only criticism I ever have about any podcast, really, other than that they're not good, is that no one cares about the business of comedy. No one cares about any of that. They just want you to be funny about things
that are right.
That they see. You got to fill the void that the late night shows are left behind they're so shitty and all that stuff.
That's right.
And that's why I'm a little surprised because you are such a devotee of the old system. I would be making it more of a show that has a script
with puns
and no, a higher production in the sense of like not only just your production value is good, but like I would think you'd be doing a mini Tonight Show. That's what I tried to.
There were times where we were doing like the jokes and news and all that kind of stuff, and I was just like, I don't know what the fuck is. It's very hard to ascertain what's working. Here's why I do.
Have you thought about real estate? Like selling real estate.
I'd be a good realtor.
You'd be great.
I'd be a great. I can because I'm such a good liar and I never get to do it anymore. But I would love to do something like that.
Yeah.
Like to just trick people all the time.
Well, I think it's a great show, and I'm happy always for the opportunity to be on.
People, I mean,
these are epic episodes. People love them.
Yeah. I mean, you know what else? It's also, my thing is also filling the void that the roasts left, because I think adults really do enjoy roasts, and they know everyone's joking, and they know everyone's okay, and there's this new thing that everyone's so fragile and no one can take a joke. Like, I think that there's also a huge void in that, especially a man like coming at a woman hard And everyone's like, women are made of glass. You're not allowed to say anything to us ever because it's like, we're as strong as you, but we're also really super fragile. Like, which is it? So it's also that, I think, as well.
Yes.
It is the fact that I have gone numb and allow you to verbally abuse me.
You're not, I don't verbally abuse you. What's interesting about these is this generational thing. We're similar ages. We are, right? How old are you?
38.
I'm 36. These are similar ages. And yet, we have very different experiences in the thing that we do.
Yeah.
You had one experience.
Yeah.
I'm having another experience.
Yeah.
And that is, there's a collision there. There's a tension there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I do think there's a day that you will do a Broadway show where you're doing a monologue or a something, and because there is a
I'm not against that.
Okay, yeah, there is a different Scott Rudin producing, of course. There is a level of, like, I did a TV show recently just as like a whatever, and there is something about, like, everyone's here to make this magical thing. It's silly. It's like playing dress up when you're a kid.
But here's why that's so great.
And then everyone's raping each other behind the scenes.
You don't have one Ben. You don't have there's nothing real. It's all bullshit. If you had one Ben, if you had one person.
How much, Ben, what's your price to leave Tim? I'm just curious. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. But how much? What would be if someone came at you and was like, Rogan or someone was like, I want you, I need you full time. What's your number to leave Tim Dillon?
I mean, I wouldn't, and the reason is like if Tim's done with the podcasting and everything, I'm just walking away from everything.
Okay,
I like doing this with Tim and no one else.
And if Ben left my show...
But let's see what happens when that offer comes in.
If Ben left my show, I don't know that I'd be able to do the show.
Wow.
I would have to do something else, and that's when I'd probably call you and ask for 10 of your bullshit ideas.
But you trying to make him laugh is my favorite.
But it's a real friendship.
Yeah,
and when you go, everyone's here and everyone's on crack and raping each other, it's like nothing's real. So you're like, oh, you have something real, but you don't have 40 of it. It's like, what?
Interesting.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Less is actually more.
Yeah.
You don't need all the bullshit if you have something where you're comedically in sync with somebody and you want to make something cool.
And my biggest thing about this is it's hard to...
Am I getting paid for this?
You might get some frozen pizza or macaroni.
It will not be cooked. It will be frozen.
My thing is that if I am doing something as a comedian, going back on the road, I know exactly where I fucking stand. I tell a joke. I know if you like it, if you don't. I know the difference between a real applause break and a forced one because everyone's like proud of me and happy. I know. That's what I know. I know how to put something on the air and see the fucking number. Like, this is a weird thing where it's like, it's a skill that I don't quite have yet, which is to keep going boldly in one direction with a bunch of YouTube comments yelling at you. And you're like, I don't know if I'm supposed to keep going or if this is the right direction, or do I I know not to take notes from executive. I know if an audience doesn't laugh at a joke, they're right. I don't know in the comment space who's right. I know the numbers, but then you see comments and you're like, if this was an audience of people in front of me, and they were all like, we don't think that's funny, I would stop doing it. The joke.
Why do you read? Who cares?
I'm just saying it. Like, it is a part of the thing when on YouTube you've got thumbs ups and thumbs downs. And
I think if you haven't grown up with it, like I didn't really grow up with it either.
Yeah, me either.
But that's why you internalize it so much, because a lot of people that have grown up with it know it's not real.
Yeah, that's
and half of the comments that are like, fuck you, you suck, are people that if you message them back, they're like, hey man, I'm actually a fan. I'm just trying to get it. No one, it doesn't really matter. What matters is like, are people affected positively by the shit you're doing?
Interesting.
And if there's 20 people that obviously you want more, but if there's people that are affected positively by what you're doing, who gives a fuck?
Because it's like when you do such hot fucking takes on shit. Like last week I did this whole thing about how we need billionaires and we need people like Elon Musk because there have to be incentives to do the shit. You know, like it was just like we're mad at billionaires until they make penicillin or what. You know what I mean? Like our love.
Yeah, people got mad at you with all the fucking the communist symbol. Why am I blanking out on
the swastika?
No, the
flag,
hammer and the sickle.
Did they send me that?
Yeah, I don't know. No, but I'm just saying. So what? A bunch of people tweeted at you that you
no,
don't
a hammer
understand?
and a sickle is what I use to get my face looking like
understood.
this.
But yeah, so then they got mad at you about the billionaires.
Well, yeah, it was just kind of like a hot take, and you're kind of like, are people going, I don't necessarily agree with that, but that's an interesting thought experiment.
I mean, 3 times a week, people tell me that I'm the worst thing that's ever lived. I have people writing articles about me that I'm this, I'm that. Who cares?
Yeah, that means they're listening.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like, it's my job. Comedy's a democracy. I'm supposed to listen to people, but then you're kind of, I just get like lost in it, and it's just like.
Yeah, but it's the same shit.
I mean, most of my comments, I would imagine, are just Ben. I feel like they're just Ben and
that's
you.
What he's doing. I would want Ben. If somebody offered Ben a crazy amount of money to leave me, I would want him to take the money and then use it so that me and him could do other shit.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Like, there's always a way for things to... I think that part of what
you
you're
can
doing,
do your Borat. You can.
Part of what you're doing with the comments is you're finding reasons to feed the insecurity that we all have.
Right.
You're looking for the reasons.
Right.
If you look for it, you'll find it.
Yeah, yeah.
If I looked for homophobia, I would find it.
Interesting.
If you look for misery, you find it.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm
your
fucking
specialty.
here. Yeah. But like, so don't look for it. Don't pick it up. Like AA has a great saying, don't pick it up.
Yeah, of course.
It's there, just don't pick it up.
Yeah.
So who gives a shit? Just do what you're gonna do. The trade-off you make when you do anything is that people have the right to hate you.
That's right.
They have the right to not like it.
That's right.
They have the right to disagree with you. They have the right to call you names. That's the trade-off. And what you have the right to do and the opportunity to do is you have a platform that you can then do what you want to do, right, which is so fucking rare.
Yeah.
And that comes with the people that are going, well, fuck you. I don't like it. And that also comes with people that go, it's the best thing ever, and it gets me through my week. And you got to choose who are you listening to. Tim Dillon on Patreon, Tim J. Dillon on Twitter and
This
Instagram.
will not get you through your week.
Please,
it will make your week worse to go to timdillon.com.
Tim J. Dillon
My
on Twitter
podcast
and Instagram.
actually helps you get through hard times.
Follow
Tim
me,
Dillon's creates the hard times. He is toxic. He is the opposite of a mental wellness program. WhitneyCummings.com.
FakeBiz.net for the merch.
RealBiz.net is WhitneyCummings.com.
520 merch drop.
Actually, you can actually play my podcast in your office and not get fired.
And when merch goes
this is the opposite.
Live. Do you really want to play her podcast in your office? You won't get fired. You'll jump out the window. Okay, fakebiz.net.
Why not a .com?
Because it's cool. It's retro.